What's up, everyone? Welcome to the meetup. I'm Nia Gibson here with Johnny Pace and Olu Olamigoke. And before I even get started, Olu, I'm sure this is a great day for you. Hello, congratulations, national champion. Your take aged
Oh yeah.
amazingly.
Oh, sometimes you just gotta know and put your faith in
Mm,
Fernando. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta know that you're destined for greatness. You gotta put your rings on everywhere you go. You gotta wear the Letterman jacket that you haven't worn in about 15 years. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to be in alignment. You gotta get in formation, and clearly that's what happened. I
listen,
Still
never,
fits
never take
perfectly.
off. No,
still
literally,
fits
you should
perfect.
put it on for like the rest of the month. You deserve it.
I'm showering it at this point, so yeah.
Let me know how that goes. But everybody, welcome to the meetup presented by Diadora. Again, super happy for this partnership that we have going on for the rest of the year. And we brought it up last week, but I'm so excited about this, and I think we're going to have a lot of great things coming from this partnership. Diadora is one of them ones that the style is amazing, the shoes are amazing, and as you guys know, they are kind of on this like headhunt for the high schooler who can run a mile in a certain time for $40,000. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about as we talk about high schoolers. High school was popping this weekend. We had some collegiate meets, we had some pros open up. So I think let's get right into our track and field deep dive. Guys, we are fresh off of the VA showcase. Olu, you were there. I know, Johnny, you were working on it remote. What were like your initial reactions as you guys were watching this?
Man, my first one was definitely like I wish that the Virginia Showcase existed when I was in high school in Virginia. It started years later, but it was really cool, a very full circle moment to be back there covering it from this perspective, both from the media side as I was doing, but also I was doing a little bit of coaching and consulting as I was there too, as I caught up with some of the athletes and their coaches in the jumps. So it was really cool to get back to Virginia. That's my initial thought. But then right after that, what keep coming to mind is that there's something in the water in Virginia.
Mm.
Pharrell said it many times. Pharrell has a whole music festival called that. And I say that all the time because Virginia is one of the most commonly overlooked state. You take all these performances, let's extrapolate that out to the DMV. I mean, there's such depth of challenge that goes back decades from Virginia. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking, obviously, we have Quincy. Obviously, we have Francina McCrory. We have LaShawn Merritt. I mean, I can just continue. And that's even, we're just talking for track. So it was cool to go to Virginia Showcase, see that what we say in Virginia, that there's something in the water, is actually factual. Hopefully, people start to pay more attention this year. But I think we're a state that's happy being the dark horse.
All right, I like it. A lot of US number ones, a lot of national
Yeah.
records. We'll get right into it. Johnny, what did you see?
Yeah, this was really fun for me. I was on remote clipping, and like when you say a high school meet, you wouldn't expect this to me almost had more energy and outstanding performances and maybe some of the pro meets that we've covered in the past. I was on remote support, and it seemed like every time I blinked, there was another national record that went down. There was another U.S. number one. It was
Mhm.
very entertaining, and having grown up in Virginia as well, like just super. Yes, like Olu said, super proud of kind of the performances and the reputation. Like, I missed it by a year. I think it kicked off in 2016. And it's just cool to see that it just every year seems to keep one upping. But it was going crazy on social media, man. Like, everybody was
Yeah.
loving Virginia Showcase. I mean, and I think we're going to get into a few of these, but it was fun to be, part of that excitement and energy around this great event.
Johnny, I think you
For
used the
sure.
right word, fun, fun, fun. And if we talk about fun, let's kick it off with Quincy Wilson. He continues his senior campaign. He clocked 1 minute point 56 in the 500 meter. It's good for the number two all time behind Andrew Salvador. We do remember that race from last year at the VA showcase. And it was just one of those races where he separated early and never looked back. Oh, I want to talk to you real quick because you were there in person. When you saw it, how was it when the gun went off? How was the crowd? Did you see have eyes on Coach Joe as this was happening?
I the only thing I didn't see was probably Coach Joe. I was actually on the
Okay.
infield, and then we end up going on the bank. But my initial thought was like, "Dang, it's loud in here! Like, this is crazy." It kind of reminds me, if you guys have been to the Armory. Actually, I was at the Armory last year when Quincy ran, I think, a 600 at one of these meets, and it was deafening in there too. But the Armory is a smaller venue, and it's can't compare it. Virginia Peach Sports Center is what much bigger. so you would think the sound would drown out, and there's also a lot of big fields on the other side. It was so loud in there that I couldn't really hear myself think. And then that's the first thought. And the second thought was like, all right, I want to make sure I get a shot at him running this 5. I missed a couple of shots on my camera. I'm like, damn, these boys fast. Like, he really got out. Like, he got out of that thing like it was, I mean, honestly, he got out like it might have been a 400 or maybe even like a 3. He was moving really well. And yeah, as you said, he really did put a gap on everybody else between there. I think maybe if he had a little bit more comp, and that's just not to put anybody else down. We're talking about a generational talent, Quincy Wilson. But if there was somebody maybe a little bit closer to him, maybe he would have made him dip a little bit faster. But I mean, that's not taking anything from this young man. He is a phenom, and the way he ran that, it's cool watching Quincy run. Because year after year now, we see him running. He's run with comparison professionals. He's run with the world's best, and he's bringing that to the to the high school level of track and field. So it's really cool to see how mature he approaches his races, and even how mature he takes his interviews afterwards. Really awesome performance.
That's a really good point.
I saw a TikTok.
That I mentioned. I'm sorry, what?
I just want to chime in. I saw a TikTok that said when the Olympic gold medalist is racing, the internet crashes in a 10-mile radius. Do you think that's true? Do you think that everybody recording crash the internet?
Actually, that's a really good point. I didn't see a TikTok for that, but I did experience it in the Virginia, in that center, in that arena. Like, we were trying to get things uploaded. I took the photos. I'm trying to get them onto my laptop. My AirDrop is slowed down. I can't get on Wi-Fi to send them to you. I can't. Everything was getting stopped up anytime Quincy's name was even mentioned. So I think there's truth to that.
Yeah, 100%. He has like that celebrity status, like, by far.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a good thing about his race. When I watched it, it looked like he got out the way you would get out in a 200. And I wonder if like those 55s he was running earlier in the season definitely attributes to that, like just trying to get that turnover. And he slightly missed that national record. But as we talk about national records, we'd be remiss not to talk about Bullis adding yet another national record to their resume. The mixed 4x4, they ran 320.95. And it just was one of those ones where Bullis is doing what Bullis does. So I'm going to ask you guys again, Olu, what did you see out there when you saw that race?
Man, the funny thing about that is, again, it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, these young athletes, they're running at such a high level so much. And I think obviously Bullis does what Bullis does. And I think Quincy brings this. Now he's a senior. I think he brings a lot of leadership that you could see, with when his teammates line up with him, they all have a very serious demeanor about them. I've actually spoken with each of them before, except for Maya. I've never met Maya previously, but I've interacted with Cameron. I've interacted with Kennedy actually multiple times when she was probably like 8 to 10 years old. And it's cool to see how they mature. And now in the presence of Quincy, they all really have this level, like a real level-headedness about them as they're breaking records. I say that to say, if you look at that photo, they look really unhappy. Now, I don't know if I've been saying this all week, and I don't know if this is a thing they had, but like after they broke that record, there's another set of photos as well as they're holding up the national record bibs, and they all look like they're pissed off. The only person smiling was Quincy. And I thought that was ironic because it's like, he's probably like, I did what I had to do. And the rest of them were just kind of mugging a little bit. I was like, I love it. It was hilarious. It was cool. But they expect greatness from themselves, and you can see it.
The dark horse on that team to me has always been Kennedy. She has a ton of, although she's only a junior, she has like this experience on this national stage. She's been a part of these crazy relays, obviously the mixed relay with Quincy and them, but also like the girls 4x4 with Sydney Sutton. And she comes with this level of grit and this will to win that I think always kind of pushes Bullis right over the edge. She's like, to me, their Colin, because I always found him to be a bit of their dark horse on the boys 4x4 for Bullis. So Kennedy's someone I always have my eye on for that very reason. She's always hungry. There's not enough national records that'll ever dim that light inside of her or that fire in her belly. So I'm excited to see actually what she does on the individual stage coming up for the rest of the season. Johnny, tell me, do you have anything to add to this? Let me know what you were seeing, because again, you were able to also watch this live as you were at home.
Best seat in the house. Yeah, I got to see every second of the action. I was just struck by like just the quality of this program and the excellence that is just pervasive there. It's not just Quincy. Like this program is fascinating, just the level at which they excel. And I think it's so cool when really great athletes come together to do something even greater. And we had plenty of that with Bullis. And Yeah, getting to see them crush a national record. I know that it was a little bittersweet knowing that this was Quincy's last Virginia showcase,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the future's bright. We're gonna have years to come of getting to enjoy the Bullis School and what these athletes are doing, which is comforting.
Future is bright in the DMV, but let's move on. Tate Taylor, national record in the 300. You guys called it. We put this race on National Record Watch for a reason. He ran a blazing 32:45, which I gotta mention, guys, it was faster than Noah Lyles 300 opener this weekend. We'll get to that, but it's like you just gotta mention it. Tate Taylor, this kid is moving. And also, before we even talk about Tate, Jake Ode-Jordan, his training partner, he broke a British record. And it just goes to say what's going on in Texas right now. The Texas Titans, they are very hot right now. So, guys, what did we see when that race popped off?
Look, I mean,
my first question is, does Jake have a British accent?
No.
Is he like born and raised British?
What
do you mean British record?
I mean, like the same way you can get an American record as an American citizen, he got a British record. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he runs, cool. He represents the UK whenever he's running on the international stage.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Much in the way I competed for Nigeria. And I think it's dual citizenship. I need to actually connect with him and find that out for details. But I want to take a quick step back to how you intro that, Nia. You said the Texas Titans are hot right now. I want to revise that. The Texas Titans are hot. Period.
You're right. My bad.
I'm just gonna say it like it is. Obviously Tate did what Tate does. This boy came out like a bat out of hell. I love watching Tate run because he runs like kids racing in the street. And I mean that with the most highest regard. What I mean like that is if you see these kids who used to run on the block, they just be booking. It almost looks like there's no technique. They're just running as fast as they can, like they're chasing somebody. Tate came out in that first 80 meters like he was chasing like someone slapped his mama. It was crazy. And he's deceptively tall, and his knee technically sound. His knee deceptively tall, but he has very, very rapid turnover and high knee lift at the same time. So he glides around the track, which is so impressive to watch from the physicality standpoint. Obviously, Jake Ode-Jordan also matched the previous national record, previous national high school national record for the U.S., which was also incredibly impressive. They trained together. Tate came across the line like, boy, everybody's trying to get the photos, trying to do the media thing, the media circus. All he could keep saying is, man, that thing hurt. That thing hurt. He couldn't even stand up to take the photo next to the national record board. And I think it says a lot to, the effort he brought to it. And again, I'm going to get even like a quick tangent. Going back to the Texas Titans, I briefly caught up with Coach K, and I was like, yo, you guys are doing big work because obviously there's Tate. Obviously there's Jake. But what we didn't even mention is that they have the number one long jumper in the country called Joseph West Jr. or Joseph West the third. So they have depth, kind of like you'd be seeing in these, almost like and I'm going to say this, like maybe it's more refined, but almost like the way Bullis has a lot of events covered, they also do that down in the Texas Titans in San Antonio. So really impressive stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, as a reminder, they will be continuing to train together as they both are future Texas Tech Red Raiders. Yep. But one national record. Sorry, go ahead.
Quincy had considered Texas Tech. I'm just thinking in another universe, what if all three of them were going in as freshmen?
Oh gosh, it would be crazy. I mean, we'd have to switch the conversation of UGA getting some of the best recruiting classes to now have Texas Tech kind of enter that conversation.
Yeah.
But he's going to Maryland as we keep going. Sophie Rambo, a next one, national record, just across the board. She breaks a thing Mo Nikolaev's 500-meter record running 1:10.07. This was a race, and she's an athlete with range. We know that she can pop off all around sprints. She's obviously a quarter miler specialist. And Sophie ran that race as she was getting challenged. She held on, and it was just very clear that in the last meters of that race, she was like, I'm not going to lose. So guys, tell me, what was special about that race to you, seeing it from your own very eyes? I'll let anyone take the floor. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, I just what you mentioned. She breaks the thing's record. A thing is one of the greatest talents of our generation, and was not in high school that long ago. I mean, five or so years, and like I think that speaks the volumes to appreciate like what an accomplishment that is. Like a thing Mo is. Her records aren't going to fall easily, and so the fact that she took that down is incredible.
No, it says a lot.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, it's, one thing about track is like we always got to be grounded to think, okay, an athlete does this at this age, but we can't get so wrapped up in the like prisoners of the moment to assume that because they've done something at this stage, they will automatically do this at the next level. However, Sophie Rambo has that range and that self-discipline, and even as you watch her run, there still looks like she still has like she still has room in the tank to grow. And I say that like from the coach's perspective, from the coach's eye perspective, it's Sophie. I actually got a chance to interview her briefly, and I think she was still kind of at a loss for words to know that she broke a thing's record, because you think a thing Mo, you think Olympic champion, you think world champion, you think of all her accomplishments, but now it's like you're literally technically further along at that point, your own point in your career, than where a thing was, which is really awesome. Another piece of trivia is that she's the first person to three-peat at the Virginia Showcase, which is also like incredibly impressive. As we just described, this is a high level meet. This is like this is the pinnacle of track and field in high school level at right now. So, I mean, hats off to Sophie. Like, it's just insane what she was able to accomplish too.
Yeah, UGA definitely has a special athlete coming in next season. So definitely, as we were talking about top recruiting classes, Sophie Rambo is a part of that. Now, again, another national record, guys, in the girls 300, Mariah Maxwell, in her first ever 300, she stuns with a national record of 36:24. Future Texas Longhorn, what a race. Again, first ever 300. Usually when it's your first time running something, you're still figuring out how to run it. And you know what? Maybe she is. Maybe she is still figuring out how to run it. This is probably not going to be her best one. People tend to say your first one is your worst one, and her first one was a national record. So what do you think we can expect from Mariah Maxwell in the future?
I'll tell you what, that's one heck of a rust buster.
Yeah.
Like, you just playing around with national records just because. I mean, we've already said this many times. Like, she and her sister are like, again, I'm tired of using the word generational talent. Like, we need other words, because it's like, okay, bear with me. They used to call like really nice Ferraris and Lamborghinis supercars. I'm a car guy, so they used to be called supercars. But then eventually had to come up with the term hypercars, because supercars wasn't enough. We're at the point where generational talent isn't enough. We need another term, like, because there's just it's just, how do you step onto the track in a 300? We know the 300 is not an easy race to run, especially indoors. And she came across the line just looking kind of like, "Ooh, man," you can kind of tell it hurt. And then national record, like, I didn't realize until they then announced that was her first ever time running the event. And like, so to say, what can we expect from her? More greatness, more hyper level performances. I mean, what else can we say? It's just we're getting so spoiled with track and field right now that we have to, again, going back to not being a prisoner of the moment. I wonder if this trackflation is a period that's going to last, or if this is just the new multiverse of track and field that we live in. Either way, I'm happy to be here for it. But to see her just step on track for the first time and break a national record, like, I mean, I will say, like, if you look at how her weekend progressed, the day before she did run what was then the U.S. #1 time in the 60s. So clearly she applied that coming off that curve into the 300. And I think that would have played a role into it, because, maybe if the 300 was first and the 60 was second in terms of the order, as she did like with the prelims, maybe she wouldn't have been as finely tuned to get out that hard and, carry it through. But either way, I think we can only expect greatness from both her and her sister. So, yeah.
Listen, I know you're tired of generational talent, but I'm going to use that again, because in that same race was Cameron Daly, the 8th grader. She broke the middle school record running 36.7. And we all know she's a beast. She has multiple age records and age world records. And yeah, she's the next one. She's a dog. And it's like, you don't remember that she's just a kid until you talk to her. I spoke to her at New Balance Nationals before, and she's just like, yeah, my family keeps me grounded and this, that, and the third. And then she called me Miss Nia. I was like, oh.
Miss Nia.
So Miss Nia, I was like, okay, I know she has like a mom and a dad who's very much so manners, first and foremost, manners.
Yeah.
But she runs like someone where she's like, you know what, screw manners, screw all this. I'm trying to run to get this time, this record. And she got just that. She got the middle school record in that very race behind Mariah Maxwell, who's very much so a few years ahead of her. But I mean, yeah, Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, like 3670 from off of 3670-24, you realize that she almost broke the high school national record too, right?
Yeah.
Like let's just put that out there. I know it's like, 0.4 something seconds is a lot, but like she's out. Say again how old
She's
she is?
in eighth
Did you
grade.
say eighth
She's in
grade?
eighth grade.
13?
She's in eighth.
Like
Yeah.
13.
I'm just wondering,
I can double check her age, but she is in eighth grade.
I'm just curious, like how does somebody get to that level so young? Have they been on the circuit since U5s? Like we saw a lot of like U8s this weekend, some of the more entertaining races of the weekend. But like, yeah, how do you get into that type of form before you're even in ninth grade? Like, what a fascinating development.
I think, yeah, she's just
Something
one of them
in the water.
ones. Something in the water, something in her gene pool. And sometimes like you either have it or you don't. And I'm going to be very excited to see what adjustments, if there's any to make, that she makes when she gets onto the high school stage and then even onto the college. But if she continues to progress in that manner, maybe forego college, right? But I mean, I guess that's a conversation we can essentially get to probably in, 4 or 5 years. We'll return to
5 years,
that.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
back.
In 5 years, we'll talk about it. What?
Yeah. We have a little bit of jump talk. Parker Coes and Brooklyn Little. Olu, talk to me about this. So let's start with Parker Coes.
So yeah, Parker Coes, this young woman, she is, can we say generational talent for the 15th time? Like she jumped the number one jump in the country in December, and I think she had jumped at time like 20 feet 7 or 20 feet 6. She came out here, jumped 21 feet, and then that is the U.S. number one jump again. And she actually took that U.S. number one from her training partner. Well, I guess Parker now lives in Texas, but at the time she was training with Brooklyn Little, who also jumped the second best jump in the country this past weekend, and she was leading coming into it. So, but to stay on Parker, what is really phenomenal about Parker is she's a sophomore. She jumped 21 feet as a freshman, but as a sophomore, who, if you watch the jumps, she is over rotating in her jumps, meaning she still has so much more she can get out of it. I'm going to come on record as saying this now because she is a sophomore and she's figuring it out and also has things figured out. She's built for it. She approaches the board with speed. This is national record watch. And I'm not even talking about for this year. She still has 2 more years in school. The rest of this season plus 2 more years. National record watch. Absolutely. Parker Coes. Remember the name. This woman is phenomenal. She's so talented. She's so technical. And she, at the same time, if you watch her, she still looks really, really raw, which is an incredible conversation or combination of things to say. And then shout out to Brooklyn Little as well, who, she is the Gamecocks commit. She's going to be going out there. It's just another example of iron sharpens iron. These young women are out here jumping like major jumps consistently, staying on top of it. She's another athlete who I love to watch. She's very technical. We have a breakdown on the FloTrack channel where there was, we have 2 of her jumps in one video, but on the second jump where she actually jumped her best, you can see a visual breakdown of the phases of her flight phase. And I know this is really nerdy, but as we said, we want to educate you guys on how the jumps work. So go ahead and check that out. Both of these athletes are ones to watch. It's incredible. But Parker Coes, national record watch throughout the rest of her high school career.
Love that. We'll be looking forward to seeing what's happening, especially ahead of national season. But let's definitely move on to the pros. Noah Lyles opened up in the 300 this weekend. He ran 32.60. Here's the video.
Lanes. Noah Lyles in lane 5. Chekna Traore in lane 6. Noah Lyles now with the slight lead going into the turn. Lyles of Adidas, the Olympic champion in the 100 meters, the bronze medalist in the 200, 8-time world champion coming into the final stretch. And that's Chekna Traore. Noah Lyles claiming heat number 1.
Okay. Noah Lyles, he clocked 32.60 in that race. I'm sure is serving as a bit of a rust buster as he will be running at the New Balance Grand Prix next week. Guys, what did you see just now?
I saw what looked like, as you said, a rust buster, and it almost looked kind of like a competition time trial in a way. Let's be
Yeah.
let's just be real. Noah Lyles is Noah Lyles. So yeah, I know we were joking around earlier, that Tate ran faster than Noah Lyles this weekend, and we as athletes, again, we need to be able to like look at something objectively here. Tate and Noah were not in the same race, so I can't say who would have run that race anyway. But also, Tate is a world class athlete in his own right, but it's a different ball game. It's different. He's in high school. He's been kind of at it all season training to get to this point, whereas Noah is just opening up. That's not to compare them to two as who's better, who's worse. But what I see with Noah is a smooth, calm competition. Let me put the singlet on. Let me put the speed suit on and go run this time trial, because he actually did run a time trial on his Instagram, a 300 time trial on his Instagram wearing the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. So you could see that. And I think it was just a matter of taking that same, cadence, stride pattern, pacing, all the things into the indoor track with these tight turns. So as you said, he can get ready for New Balance. So I wouldn't leave too much into the time, but that being said, 32.60, like, come on, man, what the heck?
Yeah, he is one of them
You know,
ones.
I think if he'd come with like some cool hairstyle and done a Yu-Gi-Oh card showmanship, maybe we'd say, all right, he's taking this one seriously. But I think, given what we saw, yeah, he's just getting the feel for the track, and we're gonna really see him lock in and come into Noah Lyles form very shortly, I'd imagine. But you got to start somewhere, and sometimes I think just getting the feel of that indoor track, getting the feel in a competition after you've been away for a while is important. So it's good. I know the crowd out there certainly appreciated it.
For sure. And a little bit of over distance always helps, especially if he's going to drop down to a 2. So, we already know what he does in the 2, but over distance at a high level in competition is very different than doing over distance in a training session. Let's just keep that in mind as well.
No, 100%. And Johnny, he cut his hair for the wedding, actually. So, he's getting married to Janelle Bromfield. Yeah, he said that he wanted to be the man she fell in love with, and she fell in love with him with shorter hair. So that, I think that goes to show, like, that's why. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, man, good man right there. But all right, let's move on. The Corky Classic was also this weekend. Texas Tech hosted the Corky Classic. Trayvon Bromell ran the 200 there, his first indoor 200 in 4 years. Let's see how that went.
Look, running that 200 indoor is not a game. There's a reason they don't necessarily contest it at World Athletics Indoor Championships. It's a lot to come back from not running a 2 to then doing these banks with intensity.
No, for sure. A 2-turn sprint, especially when it's like a 50-meter turn on each side, it's challenging. Yeah. But 20.98, and I think just like Noah, a rust buster, because Trayvon Bromell will also be in the New Balance Grand Prix running the 300. So I think that's honestly why he decided to run a bit of that. I guess for him, maybe we can call it over distance, right?
I guess so. I guess you could, huh? Trayvon has run 200s in the past, but I would say, like, yeah, you don't want to put a cap on a guy like Trayvon, but I would say that, yeah, maybe over distance, but in this case, he's going to run a 300 in a few days. So we don't know. Rust busts all the same. Yeah. Get these curves in your legs, these high banks. Nothing feels like it.
Trayvon's someone that I have enjoyed rooting for, especially after last season when he had such an impressive showing on the world stage and the Diamond Leagues after struggling with injury and haven't been so accomplished in the past. Like, I love a good comeback story. Same with like Donovan Brazier, and that persistence is inspiring and adds another layer to elite performances. So good to see him back. Wishing him nothing but the best and hopefully more continued success as we get rolling.
Yes, no, for sure. And as we continue to talk about continued success, Antoine Andrews of Texas Tech, he ran the 60-meter hurdles, and that was a race. I think the race will speak for itself. The excitement will speak for itself when you guys watch this clip. Yeah. Incredibly smooth. Look, and he knows it. He knows
Oh,
it.
he's
That's
hyped.
someone who knows he ran a really good time.
Yep. Ooh,
Yeah,
man.
look at
Training
how
today is going
excited
to
he ran,
be,
man.
he's
So,
going to
guys,
have a
he ran
hell of a practice this weekend.
7:49. 7:49
Yep.
NCAA record, world lead, national record for Bahamas. And
Sheesh.
he knew it when he crossed that line, saw the board, and went to the crowd to get that reaction. I just love when athletes really show their emotions. Got to understand some people can be pretty stoic. And if that's how you are, that's how you are. But he knew what he did, and it showed through everything. I loved every second of that. Guys, again, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you all. Show. What did you see? I just showed you. I just told you what I saw.
Well, celebrating's in for
Definitely.
2026. We talked about it last week.
You did.
Owning your
It's
moment.
in. It's in.
Yep. Yep. And
But
also, that man was gliding. He was gliding over them hurdles, man. I would love to hear what Devontae has to say since he trained there and he was a hurdler as well. But yeah, if we're doing that, if you're doing dropping 749s indoors, I always like to say, what's going to happen outdoors, because that means you're figuring some things out early, and that's really good.
Obviously, the Corky Classic was something. It was something special. There's something special in the water in Lubbock that's having everyone come and run great times. Whether you're a Texas Tech athlete or someone just visiting from a former Texas school, pros, whatever the case may be. But if we talk about special athletes, we have the distinct honor of talking to Simeon Birnbaum of University of Oregon. He is the newest Diadora NIL athlete, hailing from Rapid City, South Dakota. He's quickly risen to the top of the collegiate ranks, building on a record-breaking high school career. And in 2025, Birnbaum earned cross-country All-American honors, set the Oregon indoor 3K record, and won the Big Ten outdoor 5K in a meet record of 13:31:87, leading Oregon to the conference title and earning Big Ten track athlete of the championships honors. Welcome to the show, Simeon.
What's up, guys? Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey. Yeah, no, thank you for coming. I'm really excited about this partnership. I'm really happy that you chose Diadora. So that it leads me into my first question: why Diadora?
Yeah, I mean it was a hard decision for sure, but Diadora, like as a brand, like I felt that their desire to win really matched my desire to win. Like it's I'm all in on this sport, and I really felt the same from them.
Is there
That's good.
something that
for
happened with them that made it where it was like, where did you see that will to win come from?
Well, I took a visit this summer out in Flagstaff to meet their crew, and it was like through just like the sit down dinners with them, asking them questions, even just like car rides with Ryan, just discussing the brand and his ideas for the future and what they want to do, and that's where those ideas, that's where I saw it. I saw the passion and I saw the desire to be that type of brand.
I had the opportunity to visit HQ in Italy this summer and shoot with Marco and
Awesome.
get to see what Diadora is all about, like on the ground, and just hearing about this, the sub 4 program that they've put into place, which has had a lot of people excited. Whether it's the athletes or the product or some of these initiatives, like what are some things that are really exciting you about what they're doing?
Yeah, first of all, I think that sub four program is amazing. I think that's so good for the sport because it's going to take all these athletes and just give them like an extra bit of motivation to really run fast and like kickstart their careers, which I think is like super dope. Like if I was in high school and that was a thing, I would have been so motivated and I think that's the coolest thing ever. Um, yeah. Sorry, what was some more of the question?
Well, I guess while we're on the topic of the spikes, I haven't had the chance to try them out, but have you what is it? You have to break 4 wearing the Diadora spike. It looks
You
really
do.
neat. Have you gotten to test them out yet?
I've worn it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't think I'll have any issue racing in it. I'm very excited to race in it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, from Big Ten guy to Big Ten guy, it's cool to see that, you popped up into the Big Ten when Oregon just got to the Big Ten and you're already making waves. Big Ten has a really, really strong mid-distance pedigree. So, I mean, obviously, people may not know you have like the second best time of any high schooler in the 1500s. So, what are your goals going into the 2026 season? Like, how do you plan to build off of your success from your freshman year and even your prep career?
Yeah, I want to win NCAA titles now. I think I'm training well enough, and I'm finally like been healthy enough for long enough where that's realistic. And so, I mean, the earliest would be this indoor season. I want to win indoor titles in whatever events I do, and hopefully can carry that to outdoors. Yeah, that's the goals.
That's big. That's big. Okay, another question for you. I personally am a fan of Diadora because I feel like there's a little bit of an edge with what they do design wise, product design wise. It's easy to be dripped out in Diadora, as we can see with your track jacket there. So, what is your favorite Diadora shoe?
Right now, it's the Nucleo for sure. I love that shoe. It's hard to describe. I mean, it's definitely a trainer, but it's just so like I just feel so like fresh when I wear it. It's just such a fresh shoe. It looks pretty dope too. Also, they're just like lifestyle shoes are super dope as well. Like just walking around in them, you feel pretty cool.
That's good.
Oh,
That's
they're dope
good.
for sure. I've seen a couple of them. They are very cute. Nia approves. Simeon, let me ask you something. If you were in high school, are you breaking 4 to get that 40K? If you were in high school right now and they just announced this program.
Yeah, I'm breaking 4 in January. I'm going all in.
Period.
I'm doing it as early as possible.
Oh man, that would be an announcement. Imagine, guys, he breaks the 4, gets the 40K, goes into college, then gets the Diadora NIL deal. I feel like at that point it's just obviously meant to be.
Yeah,
40K in high school.
for real.
40K in high school. Yeah, I'm doing whatever it takes to get that. Yeah.
Man,
That's good.
man, it's a different era we're living in now, man. I might have switched. I might have learned how to run a mile back then if I was in high school. Come on, 40
Yeah,
bands?
No, for real.
I
$40,000.
came from a strong business program. I would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Like $40,000.
So, Simeon,
in
I
high
honestly-
school?
It's not bad. And Simeon, I almost don't recognize you on the call because every time I've seen you in person, you got some cool pair of shades. I want to know what goes into that.
Yeah.
Where are you getting them? Are you on the lookout for new ones all the time? What's the story behind the shades?
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for new dope shades that I can race in. But I mean, it's not too much of a story. I just kind of grew up, and when you have blue eyes, they're kind of sensitive to the sun, and so I started racing them when I was pretty young, just in cross country to help me relax. And then I was just like, got used to them, and then people started to like kind of get to know me from them, and then they were like, "Oh, you should just wear them all the time," and I was like, "Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. Like that'd just be kind of fun." So I started doing that, but yeah, no, I'm still waiting on some brand to come by where I can partner with them on sunglasses. I think that would be dope.
Simeon, before we let you go, I have one last question for you. You mentioned earlier in our interview that Diadora's will to win matched yours. I know you're not a fortune teller, but what do you think you can expect in the future as you climb the collegiate ranks now with Diadora as like your leading support?
I think they'll support me to achieve the best I can. I think they're gonna like I have like a strong desire to win for Diadora as well. I mean, as well as obviously Oregon and myself. But when you really believe in the brand like you're partnered with, it really, really helps you like feed your desire to win for them. And it kind of just goes back and forth between you and the brand. Like when you get along and when you enjoy working with each other, like success comes easy.
Very well said. We definitely look forward to seeing what you would be doing, and we'll make sure we look out for you on the national stage as early as this NCAA's indoors. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Simeon.
Before we finish off, though, I'd love to also talk. But we spoke about the 300 at New Balance Grand Prix a little bit throughout the show, but we posted Noah Lyles' clip that you just saw previously, and Vernon Norwood commented on that because he will also be competing in that 300 meter. Sorry, not Noah Lyles' clip. We posted Trayvon Bromell's clip, and Vernon Norwood commented on that, and let's see what he said. He's getting fried next week. Trayvon says we're gonna see. Vernon says I see it, bro. If y'all don't catch me in that first 120 or 130, pack that ish up. Dancing emoji. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love this is cool. This is cool. I'm not gonna be the one to throw my hat in the ring and say who I think is gonna win, who's not, because both of them would fry me up in the 300. See me in the triple jump though. But anyways, so I say, you saw that comment. He said, if you don't catch me in the first 120 to 130, it's a wrap. We just saw Trayvon run a 200 indoors. I think Trayvon might be able to catch Vernon in that first 120, 130. What the results are going to be, I don't know. But if we're just talking about that, and if that's what's going to take to win, don't count Trayvon out. We going to see.
Okay, we going to see, just like he said. What you got to say, Johnny?
Vernon's a fun guy. I just love, he's always in the comments going back and forth, and I think a little healthy banter is good. Also, I want to add, I feel like these days everybody's calling each other Unk and whatnot. I think Vernon owned that title first in the most respectful way. He made it cool, and yeah, he's got that veteran status, and so I always love watching him line up, especially if it's like, you know, somebody like Quincy or whatever. But yeah, New Balance is going to be good. I wish I could be out there, but love these matchups starting to take shape.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one for sure. The New Balance Grand Prix, especially that 300, is going to be excited because obviously, like we said, Trayvon Bromell will be running, Vernon Norwood will be running, Noah Lyles will be running, but also Jereem Richards will be running, and he's actually my pick to win that race. 300 is that odd distance. Yeah, the 300 is just like that odd distance, and I think it's that one that can bring together those shorter sprinters and a bit of those longer sprinters, like a Trayvon versus Vernon, for example. But let's not forget, Jereem used to be a 200-meter specialist, but with age, he decided to focus and shift on the 400, which has obviously proven true as these past world championships. He was able to get that silver out of lane 1, I might add. So I think that speed and that sharpness that he has coming from that 200 that he used to run back in the day versus that strength with the 400, the 300 will be the perfect distance for him to, I think, dominate this race.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait for it. And honestly, completely forget. You can't count out Jereem Richards. And now that you say that, it's like, oh, I mean, maybe he should have been in that comment section in that little thread.
I wish he was in that comment section, even if he didn't say nothing. Just throw like a Trini flag in there or something, just to let people remember, hey guys, I'm here.
Just put the eyeball emojis, the two eyes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Noah should have hopped in the comments too. Like, hey, y'all didn't see me. You just see my 300.
Y'all over here talking about that. Meanwhile, I'm about to throw out Blue Eyes White Dragon on all y'all.
No, for real.
A lot of people's heads.
Is that Yu-Gi-Oh? Or Pokemon?
That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon. You had it the first time.
Okay. But I got it. But with all that being said, guys, this was fun. As per usual, same time next week. Yes.
Yep. See you there.
All right. We'll see you there. We'll see you guys. Next week will be a movie. You can catch the meetup every Tuesday, and we can't wait to see you guys. Bye-bye.
Peace.